I used to play football in early days, not at a very high level though, but I was playing football and was also playing handball when I was a young boy back in Norway. But of course I've never been a professional or something like that, no. I came to Brazil in May 2009 for the first time, and then before that I have sold a sponsorship company in Norway, which I have been working on for nearly 20 years. And actually when I came to Brazil I didn't have any work, but I had some money because I have sold my company. And that was when it all started. But I met one guy on the beach, and he was working on the beach with chairs and things. And then I heard that he was living in a favela. So I really like to see the other side of Rio de Janeiro. So I asked him if he could invite me into his home. And the day after we went into his home, and I went into a favela for the first time, and it was a really tough experience for me. So then I decided it was not possible for me to just shut the door and go back to Norway and live the easy life in Norway. So I just wanted to see if I could do something for the children in the favela. Then I knew another guy who had some friends living in Bancarios, and he would like to introduce me to those friends of his, and that's how it all started in Bancarios, Ilha de Governador. I knew another guy called Franco, and he was a friend of Jair. And Franco is a taxi driver, and we spoke a lot. And then he said to me, "Hey, you should meet some of my friends. One of them is Jair, the other one is Gilson, and all those guys working in Rio today." So it was a coincidence actually that we ended up in Bancarios. All the people working there, they are phenomenal people. They are very dedicated from their heart. They want to do to make a difference for the communities. So they are fantastic people. They are fantastic people. And I know that a lot of children and a lot of families, they just love the work that Jair and Gilson and Luciano and all the others applied to the project are doing there. But they really make a difference.
Yeah.
In Norway we have a cup for young football players. I think it's one of the largest cups in the world, and there are teams from all over the world anticipating in that. It's called Norway Cup, and it would have been really nice to have one team from Bancarios over to Norway Cup, but until now we have thought that it's necessary to use a lot of money to go to Norway, to be in Norway for 1 week or 2 weeks, and we always think, is there a better way to use all those money? And as far as up to now, we have said that there are better ways to use the money into the project, into the favelas. We want to make a good education for the children, and if they love football, they can take part in organized football activities, and they can join us. And if they are doing their homework at school and they follow up everything at school, so actually the main activity for us is to stimulate education, because we know that education is the way out of poverty into a life with secure jobs, with no crimes Jair had some football activities together with other friends. I think there was some kind of activities financed by the municipality, but they didn't had any money for 2 years or something like that. So when we first met, Jair was very into, yes, we can do this, and I was very into, oh, I would like to take part of this, and I will do my best to finance it. So actually for the first 3 years there were no other sponsors. I put some money into it. I bought some camisas and otro. Okay, no, Portuguese. But now we have some really good sponsors in Norway. Put money into the project, and we also have a lot of private people giving us money for doing the project, because they like to make a better world for some.
Okay.
We could do a lot more if we just had more money, you see, because there's a lot of activities we're thinking of, a lot of children who want some other activities, and we are putting all the effort into. Now we built our own Casa da Norvega, and there we're going to have some English lessons and lessons in other topics like Historia, Mathematica, so we can strengthen the children's education. But we also would like to have a lot of other activities in the Casa da Norvega, for example, costura, música, violas, outro capoeira, muito outras atividades. It's a long way from Norway to Bancaios. I think it's very important to speak with your heart, to tell about the condition, to tell what I see daily when I'm in here, and in Norway we have one of the best countries in the world to live in, but we don't actually have that poverty which I can see in the favelas. And my task in Norway is to tell as many companies as possible about this, and with a little help we can do a lot. And I think we are responsible to do something, because we have really good lives in Norway and other countries, like most of you in Brazil too. But I think that is the way to get sponsors. We cannot help everybody, but we can help somebody. We have electrical installations companies, and we have all sorts of companies supporting us, because it's important to talk heart to heart, I think. And there's my topic is to find those managers who have the right kind of heart, and speak to them. Hey, we have an obligation. We have to do something together, you and me, because we can do it. And then we have an obligation to really do it. So I am trying to catch up as many sponsors as possible, with speaking heart to heart. Yeah, but of course there are a lot of oil and gas companies in Norway, and they have established activities here in Rio and in Macaé. So in the future, I'm sure we will have a lot of those companies as sponsors too, and that's even easier now when we can see our new Casa da Norvega, the building. Everything is materialized, and you can see what we really are doing. So I hope to have visitors from Norwegian companies in Rio visiting the project, and then we can talk about sponsorships.
It's not necessary money, just money. Yeah, you don't have money, but if you have tennis that you don't use more, you can give to them. And so this our campaign is the foreign integration, social integration. It's important to our city, that's an Olympic city nowadays, and it's important. So we start with social integration with this kind of work that we receive from another athletes, some equipments that they don't use anymore and I don't care, and so future athletes can use a new use for this. So this kind of reuse and sustainability in this, okay? And so Mente de Ferro is sport and sustainability, because we use very equipment, sport equipment, and this is the first time, the first kind of work we can do without money, just with the heart, and we do this with passion and with the love of the people here that practice sport here in Rio, and we just help kind of 6 projects, social projects like Futuro Rio. So the next work we have to do, it's hard to do. It's the applied education, another kind of education, a little bit different from the Casa da Noruega that you propose there in Bancários, a little bit, because we need to give another vision to these future athletes. São 7 disciplinas que o Mente de Ferro tem para aplicar nessa segunda fase. Então nós precisamos de um espaço. Eu procurei a Secretaria de Esporte do Rio, que está com um novo secretário, porque talvez eles tenham algum espaço público que possa ceder para o Mente de Ferro aplicar essa segunda fase do nosso trabalho, que é a formação, e aplicar essas 7 disciplinas neles, com um certificado profissional, com algo que eles possam dizer, olha, eu me capacitei, eu tenho esse curso do Mente de Ferro com noções de empreendedorismo, noção de gestão financeira, noções de direito esportivo e cidadania, noções de idiomas, o inglês, o francês, o espanhol. Então, o empreendedorismo, como eles podem usar as noções de empreendedorismo na vida deles de atleta e na vida em comunidade. Eles vão ser multiplicadores dentro da comunidade dele, desses saberes, né? A Casa da Noruega é muito bacana esse espaço. A gente tem pessoas que podem dar esse tipo de palestra dentro da Casa da Noruega. Só que é claro que são profissionais e a gente precisa remunerá-los. Então, por isso, essa segunda fase do Mente de Ferro, formação, mas a gente tem esse desafio de trabalhar esse ano com essa segunda fase. Então, pode ser que a gente faça uma parceria. A partir desse nosso papo, pode ser que se inicie uma parceria com a Casa da Noruega lá em Bancários, que seja talvez um projeto piloto ali da gente começar a aplicar a metodologia do Mente de Ferro na Casa de Noruega. Seria um prazer. We can think about it.
Because as I told you, our aim is not to make professional football players or but nevertheless, if you take a lot of young people into organized activities, some of them are going to be really good, really motivated to go back to Norway and to talk about the Casa de Noruega, the possibilities for many children to have some positive activities in the spare time, and also to have some additional education if they want to. And I get very, very motivated from seeing the daily work on bancários. Jair is a tremendous guy. Luciano, the presidente of una favela, and all the other guys, they are just fantastic. And every time I go to the project, I am very, very motivated when I go back to Norway to do some work with new sponsors and with the sponsors we already have. So today we have no governmental support in Norway, nothing. But in the future we hope we can have some governmental support too. But the sponsors, they are very, very good for us.
Yes. Yeah. What kind of companies sponsor Futuro Rio here?
All sorts of companies actually. We have accounting companies, we have entrepreneurs, but one day I hope that we can take a team to Norway Cup, because there's a lot of motivation for the children. I would like to emphasize that Futuro Rio is not primarily a football activity. We think like this. We use the children's what the children really likes, if it's football or music or capoeira or whatsoever, and we put that into a system and use this to motivate them to take the education seriously. That's our main topic.
De apoio. Aí você, sim.
É necessário, eu falo. Eu falei a Rio apartamentos muito bom. Eu gosto, né? Eu não pegar muito porque a onda da Alemanha. Eu banheiro gosto a projeto. Então eu não pegar muito para esta.
Muito bom, mas aqui você tem uma visão bem.
O nome é
Rio de Janeiro, bem Brasil, né? As favelas, o asfalto, como aqui a gente fala.
O nome desta favela?
Essa
Pavão.
É a Pavão.
Pavão.
Pavão. Muito bem. Bom, eu vou agradecer o senhor.
Sim.
Muito obrigada por receber a gente no Mente de Ferro. Parabéns pelo seu trabalho.
Sim.
Pelo seu coração.
Sim, claro. É
Tá?
dizer.
Ok. Muito obrigada. Muito bom. Obrigada. Obrigada, viu?
É bom?
Tá ótimo.